Esteemed audience, the search has been thorough and we are inching closer to finding the ultimate great debater.
These are the semi-finals of NYERI region. Who will make it to the final? I am your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperanza Kapanga.
The motion being debated this semi-final is
parents should be held liable for indiscipline cases in their children.
And opposing this motion are our Season 7 regional and national champions, NYERI High School.
Going against them in the proposition, we have the greatest rivals and last season's first runners-up in the regions, KAGUMO High School.
Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes to make a statement.
Children are like sponges. They model every single thing a parent does and incorporates it into their lives. Ryan Charles from the KAGUMO High School, fortunately, today is here to enlighten you on some issues. So before I start putting mud on your eyes on a dry day, let's start by defining these terms. So what is parents? Who are parents? A parent is one who begets or brings someone into the world. The one who brought you into the world is your parent. And I want us to get me right. When I say they brought you into the world, I do not necessarily mean that parents cannot be the society. When you're liable to something, then you're probably responsible for it. While indiscipline is lack of orderly or prescribed conduct. When I say children, this basically are young people in the society. So this motion simply means that the person who brought you into this world or the person who is responsible for your future is actually the cause or is actually responsible for your indiscipline. So allow me to concur with this motion that states parents should be held liable for indiscipline cases in their children. So imagine a situation whereby your parent works each and every time. Imagine a situation whereby each and every time you come home, for example, when you're a day scholar, you go home, you don't find your parent. You wake up in the morning, you don't find your parent. All you can think of is, I have a parent here, his name is John Joroge. But what's the problem? I don't know. I don't understand this parent well. And the reason being, they don't spend time with me. And what will I do? Because my parent does not want to spend time with me, because my parent has decided that his work is more important than me who he brought into this world, then what do? I decide to go and do things that I think is right. I decide to go and do things that I think is perfect for me. Secondly, our parents are not playing good role models towards us. Imagine a situation whereby your parent takes alcohol. He or she comes at night, then the first thing he thinks of, where is that woman? He asks for your mother, terming her as a normal woman. Imagine that. So it's high time we opened our eyes and come to the truth that parents are actually the major cause of indiscipline in their children. I rest my case.
First proposer, you have 3 minutes to make a statement.
Wow, thank you very much, because you said children are like sponges. And I accept, because they absorb everything they see on the internet, through their friends, everywhere. And solely, you come here and blame parents. Then how inhuman are you? My name is Waweru Wanyeki from the school on the hill, NYERI High School. Here to oppose the motion that parents should be held liable for discipline cases in their children. And first of all, to clarify, a parent is an adult who is held responsible for a child. And a child is any person who has not attained an age of maturity. I notice to be held responsible or to be held liable. It is simply to be responsible or to take responsibility of an act or a situation. And children, and indiscipline is lack of following rules and regulations. And now, this takes me to a report by the Ministry of Education of Kenya on the 17th of July 2017, posted on the Daily Nation. They say that children between the age of 12 and 18 spend more than 75% of their time in school. And those between the age of 5 and 12 spend more than 40% of their time in school, and the remaining percentage with their parents. And yet, they still want to hold parents liable. Now, according to Regional News Service 2013, on a research conducted by, on radicalization, they stated that 200 teenagers in Isiolo went missing and 350 in Mombasa. These teenagers are suspected to have joined the militia group of Al-Shabaab. This is radicalization. I don't believe there is any parent who is responsible for radicalization. I don't believe there is any parent who can sit down and watch their kids go down into drain of terrorism simply because they're not liable. I don't understand this. Now, only one out of eight schools in Kenya, according to the Ministry of Education, have a trainee responsible for guidance and counseling. Does that cause for alarm? That's only 1 out of 8 schools in Kenya. Now, these students are in school for 75% of their time, and the others 40% of their time, with friends from various and different and very different backgrounds, with friends who can bring a lot of influence. And this brings me to SDG number 3, SDG number 4, quality education. If I go to Finland, for example, which is the country with the best education system in the world according to the United Nations Education Index 2018, Finland has had a very minimal, is one of the countries with very minimal indiscipline cases. Cases of arson in Finland are at 0% as per now in 2018. Cases of radicalization in Finland, according to the United Nations, they have reduced heavily after they improved their education system. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you really think that the parents are responsible for this indiscipline their children? I rest my case.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
Well, well, well. What did I just hear? My friend Wawero just told me that parents are not to blame. Since when they go to school, according to him, it is the duty of teachers to be in charge of the children. I thought teachers are just like parents. When you go to a school, the teacher becomes your first parent. I am here to clearly propose the motion. But before that, I am Kelvin Kamau from KAGUMO High School. Parents should be held liable for indiscipline in their children. The Kenyan Constitution says a child is somebody below 18 years, but African culture dictates that a child is a product of the society. Therefore, it is time we questioned ourselves. And it is quite a heavy motion for me. Reason being, my dad might see this. It might make him question how he has brought me up. It might make even my mom look at me in a certain angle once I break home for midterm this coming weekend. Yes. But then we need to ask ourselves. As my friend said, a child is like a sponge. But I'd like to introduce another related approach. A child is like a new book. You know what? Our judges and even you part of the audience have a page. Now, take that page, a clean page, not written anything, and write whatever you want with it. Guess what? Parents are given that first opportunity to write on their children. Now, don't write with a pencil. Parents are not pencils. Friends are the pencils. Technology is the pencil. It can be erased. Parents are this, a biro pen. You know what I've written when I've opened this page? I've just written success. If a parent trains the child in the right way, that child will not depart from it. But if he fails and starts blaming the teachers, or even the teacher who's also a parent in school, blames the parent at home, we are a failed society. We are a dysfunctional society. And that is why I like this motion, because it is going to make us as Africans start thinking of where did the rain start beating us. Antisocial children learn their behavior from their parents. This is according to a research done by the University of Chicago, published by the Journal of Abnormal Child Psychology. And also according to familydoctor.org, when a parent elects to use physical punishment such as spanking, it does not teach the child how to change the behavior. Instead, it changes the behavior. What am I trying to say? What a parent does to a child, it has a direct effect. A child is a book, and he has the pen. What he writes on it sticks. There is no whiteout in a child's life from what the parent has written. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for your examination.
What the solutions they are providing are theoretical. Do you want to tell me that just because your parent sits down with you one single day and tells you stop taking drugs, you are not going to take them? It is upon the child to act upon what he is told. This child is also having a cognitive mind. We are treating children as if they are controlled by their parents. This is not the approach we should take if we are to end indiscipline. My name is Austin Kabera from NYERI High School, here to oppose the motion that states parents should be held liable for indiscipline cases in their children. They are telling us that when parents take their children to schools, that we are telling them that teachers are the ones who are supposed to be held liable. No, that is not what we are saying. Look at research done by Gamespot.com, the year 2016, in an article published on the 1st of May 2017. It stated that the student-to-teacher ratio is 1:30 in countries that experience indiscipline cases in their children. What does this tell you? That the education sector is understaffed. We have a problem with our education system. Okay, it is true that we also have to spend time with our parents, but equally, we also have to spend time in school because we want a better future. Let us look at the orphans in the streets. Do you want to tell me that we are going to blame their parents? They don't have parents. Who are they going to blame for their indiscipline? It is nobody. It is the society that they have to blame for their indiscipline. These orphans did not have the lucky opportunity to have a parent. Yet you might find some of them are indisciplined. Yet you might find some of them are disciplined. It is upon the child to act upon what he is told. And that is what we are proposing today. If the child does not act upon what he is told, we are never going to end indiscipline cases in children. It has been noticed that children are developing smarter methods of being indisciplined. And this can be seen in the current society. The previous society where our parents lived in, they did not used to have issues of radicalization, issues like technological degradation. These were not issues that they faced, but because we are facing a new generation of threats, we have to change our ways. We do not have to blame parents. A research done by the Canadian Lung Organization in 2014 stated that 70% of teens who smoke in Canada were influenced by their friends. Is this the parent who influenced him? No, it is the friend that you walk with day by day. That friend you do not want to be. You do not want to be accustomed with. That friend that walks with you, you want to be like him. You don't want to be like other people. A research done in 2015 by Underage Drinking Research Institute in the USA states that 75% of teens in the US have tasted alcohol out of the influence, whereas 40% are already addicts. Do you want to tell me that a very smart parent is going to give his child alcohol? Do you want to tell me that a very smart parent is going to encourage you to do drugs? This is not what parents want. And that is the question I will pose to you. Does your parent want you to be indisciplined? No. I rest.
The proposers have been asked, if children are like books, then who is it that holds the pen that writes on them? The opposers have been asked, for the parents that use their children to traffic drugs, what do they expect from them? Good behavior or bad behavior? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to answer the question.
I am very happy today and sad at the same time because Karega, my dad, is going to watch me and he's going to say, Karega, what are you saying? You are saying we are to blame? But Dad, I want to tell the truth. Karega Wakairo from the KAGUMO High School. And I'm here to propose the motion that states parents, parents are responsible for indiscipline. My very good friend asked a very good question. Children are like books, yes. And the parent is the one who has the first opportunity to write on that book. And they're given a biro pen. So the parent has the first chance to inculcate the values. Because even logically, can a 3-year-old child write on an exercise book? Can she? She can't. It's the parent who has the first responsibility with the child. It is not the child who teaches himself the moral values first. That was an analogy. I want us to talk about ifikie wazazi. Let it reach the parents. Iendelee kabisa mpaka ifikie husband to be. Let it continue until it reaches the husband to be. Hii ifikie mpaka ancestors. Let it reach even the ancestors. That is, according to ihub.com, was a famous hashtag by the name ifikie wazazi of teenagers posting dirty photos. Oh my goodness, and it was on Sunday. What? And the parents, imagine the parents are seeing the children on media and they're like, what, that is my child. It is a shame that parents have to see their children doing bad things on media to know that they have failed as their responsibility. Come on. Yeah. Father figures. The family breakups, parents sometimes think when you break up, these children suffer. Because sometimes it's a research proven by Dr. Wilson of the Michigan University, USA, published on Michigan Today, 16th May 2018, showed that the boys who didn't lack a father figure did not respect authority. They have a problem with authority. I know. And it's such a shame. Parents think when they break up, everything is going to be good with the child. Parents never say no. They want to give you everything, and they spoil you. And, parents, the first opportunity they get, they send you to a boarding school. Then once or twice in a term, they visit. Then they come, they visit, they lecture the teachers. My child is not performing well. Then after they lecture the teacher, they leave huge loads of amounts of cash. Then they post the pictures on Facebook and IG, Instagram, and say, happy family. At KAGUMO High School with my son. Yet, he does not spend time with the child. Dad, I'm sorry, but you have never sat me down and talked to me about some vital issues like sex education. Let's talk candidly about these matters. I don't rest my cases. The mountain still stands.
Rosa, you have 3 minutes to answer the question.
It is said that at the end, what pains one most is not the injustices conducted to one by his adversaries, but rather the silence of those who call themselves friends at such time. As a child and as a friend, I will speak out. My name is George Karaoke, NYERI High School, in opposition of this motion that parents should be held liable for indiscipline cases in their children. And first of all, to the question raised by a brilliant audience, your parent gave you drugs to traffic. Does he want the best for you? Well, you are a child. Do you want the best for yourself when you accept to traffic those drugs? I also answer that with a question. They also said that hashtag ifikie wazazi. Let it reach the parent. And they said that it was not on a Sunday when they were posted. I'll also tell them that it was not on a Sunday, where it is on a Sunday that you are lying to us. Why do I choose to say this? I choose to say this because you are a child. It is the child who posted that. It is the child who decided, okay, yes, I'm going to show this in a negative manner. Again, American Academy of Pediatrics. They carried out a research and said that excessive TV watching is linked to aggressive behavior. And why do I say this? And Angela Kyle, a student in a primary school in California, was influenced by this cartoon he was watching called Beaves and Butterflies. What is this influence to him? He saw in this movie that to touch things, to ignite things, is fun. And in a house, she touched down her brother. A sad story. According to Dr.
Chandrakala of Harvard University, she says that there are two types of indiscipline: the social domain theory and the cognitive indiscipline. The social domain theory, the parents can instill in you the values, but in the cognitive discipline, you have to decide for yourselves. If today you came and called me a dog when I intimidated you, then the next time I will tell you intimidate me, I would also call that friend tiny mongrel wagging its tail. It's a dog, in other words. They also said that that a parent is the first person to write in the book of your morals. Well, again, I ask, what if you, the student, what if the internet, what if the society comes to you and writes other negative stories? Won't you read the book? It is also good morals are in relation to negative morals. In as far as your parents write those positive things, the society, the internet has a role to play. Thank you.
Proposition, you have 1 minute to wrap up your case.
Yes, it is on a Sunday. Oh Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do. You talk about excessive TV watching. Who bought the TV? Parents. You talk about, the friends are being influenced by other friends to take drugs. Those friends of yours are also being influenced by other parents. Let's talk about media. Imagine some parents are buying phones for their children at the age of 3. That's when they start using this media inappropriately. Let's face these things candidly. Parents, I want you to take your responsibility. Right now, I'm on national media, and I want to give you a responsibility. Please, give us what we deserve. Anyway, Jesus had a father, biblically, and he was God. Why did he have a parent? Because parents are very important in our lives. Come on. A parent brought you here. Parents brought us here. But sometimes parents fail. Let us accept it. Let us tell them so that they can come back. Come back, prodigal son. Come back, parents. Do your role the way you're supposed to do it. Again, Karegawa Cairo. Next year, I'll meet you. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for your final statement.
Well, today they have said that according to their Christian religious education that is in relation to God, it is a parent who will be held liable. Well, I stand before you today as a Muslim who believes that it is not only a parent that should be held liable. The society has to blame. The internet should also be blamed for that. Well, I believe all of you know about soccer. If you are not fans, at least you know about soccer. And indiscipline today is the perfect epitome of a goal kick. And what do I say about a goal kick? There is the striker. I choose to call that the child. There is the defense. I choose to call that the society and the internet. There is the goalkeeper. I choose to call the goalkeeper the parent. There is the goal. There is the ball. I choose to call that indiscipline. When the child fires a shot, it goes through the defense, it penetrates the defense, it passes the goalkeeper, and it is finally a goal. It is finally indiscipline. Do we only blame the goalkeeper? There was the defense, there was the striker, there was the coach. Let us not blind ourselves to believe parents, and only parents are to blame. Thank you.
Ryan, the question would be, did you table facts or did you give very good cases? For example, you talked about parents being poor role models and the likes. There was no case that you built, okay? Good speaker, good submissions. However, is there any case that you brought in? I love your passion, though. We could be moved all the way. Kelvin, good cross-examination, good reasoning on the role of parents. The only fact you gave was quite late. It was only one, and towards the end is when they were rung, okay? Karega, excellent. I think I can't even count the number of facts you gave. You utilize your time very well and you give a lot of them, which is a very big plus for your team. Keep up the good work, all right? Good debating skills.
NYERI High, Wawelo, you started very well. Good counter from the beginning, the definitions, then the citations. I thought that you really, in fact, according to me, you're the person who gave most citations among all the six debaters. Your fluency, your coherence in argument is superb. The same with Austin. Everything out came well. The citations you did about 2, and George the same. We are all strong, but the difference was in that conviction in using the citations. Otherwise, all of us were very, very good. All the best.
For this semi-final in NYERI region, with the difference of 1%, NYERI High School, you were awarded 75%. Let's give NYERI High School a round of applause. KAGUMO High School, the judges saw it fit to award you 74%, making NYERI High School the winners of this debate.
That was a spirited fight we had on the stage and a decision that was hard to make, but we have to have a great debater and a greater debater. Congratulations to NYERI High School and a job well done to KAGUMO High School for putting up a great fight. We would also like to appreciate our sponsors, Blaze by Safaricom and Brand Kenya Board, for facilitating this. Continue the conversations with us on our social media platforms, #GDC for SDGs.
We'd also like to remind each and every school that the conversation is not yet over if you don't implement at least one sustainable development goals, not only in your schools, but also your communities, so as to make Kenya a better place.
I have been your host, Esperanza Kapanga.
And I am Chris Buru. Until next time, stay tuned.